The topic that I have chosen for micro teaching is building vocabulary for effective communication. So, before defining the title, just I want to share a few things on the definitions of vocabulary. According to Oxford, the definition says body of words used in a particular language. And secondly, words or group of words can be termed as a vocabulary. If you want to say what is meant by vocabulary means it's a group of words or it's a word. And Clark says words are the starting point. Without words, one who cannot speak. And in his definition, he says that without words, children can't talk about people, places, things, action, relation, or states. Because that's why he says that words is the starting point. And Keraf says vocabulary is a list of words which is meant for communication with other people. When we want to talk with other people, we have to communicate. So that vocabulary is needed. The words is needed to convey the meaning to the others. And if we have vocabulary, we can master a language. Vocabulary requires to master language, and not only English. If we learn any words from any languages, we can master language. And at last, it's a fundamental tool for communication. Vocabulary is one of the things that makes us to communicate in an effective way. And types of vocabulary. There are four types of vocabulary. First one is that oral vocabulary. So what is meant by oral vocabulary means when we get the words through listening and when we speak the words that we call as a oral vocabulary. Secondly, printed vocabulary. Okay, it requires two skills. Okay, the oral vocabulary requires speaking and listening, and the printed vocabulary it requires reading and writing. So when we read and getting the vocabulary, or when we write a word through that we used to get, it is called as a printed vocabulary. Okay, so this is the two differences of vocabulary, oral vocabulary and printed vocabulary. And active and passive, it goes together. Passive vocabulary means we know some words to express or to communicate or to write or whatever thing, but we won't use it. We know the word, but we won't use it. Okay, this is called passive vocabulary. And I'm coming to the last one, active vocabulary. Okay, so that we know the words, but we used to or we tend to use in all the occasions. Okay, the vocabulary is active. Okay, that we call as an active vocabulary. Okay, so these are all the types of vocabulary that you should know to build vocabulary for an effective communication. And tips for enriching vocabulary. Okay, so these are all the points. Okay, through these things that we can easily improve the vocabulary. Reading a text, newspaper, and magazine. Okay, so when we talk about the reading skills, okay, so that we can get lot of things. Okay, so that if you are being an voracious reader, we can get lot of information. Okay, so that because without information, one who cannot speak. Okay, so that for speaking skills, reading and listening, it's a request. Okay, so likewise, when we talk about enriching vocabulary, we have to read a text, novel, newspaper. Okay, so the newspaper is one of the things that everyone can read in the morning. Okay, so that someone may say, okay, so that without reading a newspaper, just I cannot go out of the house. Okay, so this is what some of the people who says when we talk about the newspaper medium. Okay, so reading a newspaper also we can get a lot of words, lot of new words, lot of technical words we can get from the newspaper. Okay, so that at least we have to read our interested part in the newspaper. Okay, so that if an youngster is fond of watching cricket, okay, so that they can read out the cricket news. Okay, so that economics, okay, they can read some sort of information regarding to that. Okay, next, the last one is that magazine. Okay, so that the magazine is also one of the thing, okay, so that we used to get weekly ones or monthly ones, okay, so that we used to get magazines, okay, so we can buy magazines and we can get lot of words, okay. Next, using a dictionary, okay, so that this is the second point that we used to do it always, okay. Now we won't take dictionary, we used to Google it and find out the meaning for a particular word, okay. What is the meaning for enrich, okay, so this is what we used to search in a dictionary, okay. And using a thesaurus, okay, so thesaurus that we all know, we can get lot of similar synonym in the thesaurus, okay, so that we can get lot of things from the thesaurus, okay. Next, watching a lecture in YouTube, okay, so this is the thing that I used to do sometimes, okay, so that when I want to teach or when I want to learn some new techniques regarding to my area of specialization, I used to search in YouTube, okay, so that watching a lecture in YouTube, surely we can improve a lot of vocabulary, okay, so that if you search in YouTube, okay, so that vocabulary building or some other videos regarding to that, okay, so that we can additionally we can add a lot of words to our mind, okay. At the same time, not only the video that we watch regarding vocabulary, whatever video we watch, we can easily go through the caption, okay, so that subtitle, okay, so that whenever you watch any video, there will be a subtitle, okay. Next, listening to English songs, okay, so that we usually doing it, okay, so that through that we can get a lot of new words, okay. And search a trending word in Google, okay, so it's also one of the technique, or I won't say it's not a technique, I like it, by searching a new trending word, okay, not some new word, trending word in Google. I always used to search what are the words that Google recently updated it, okay, so that in dictionary also there are a lot of new words has been updated, and what are the trending words that is updated in the Google I used to search, okay, through that I can get a lot of words, okay. And at last, coining a new word, okay, so that coin a new word, okay, portmanteau series, by creating clubbing two words, okay, so that we can get a new word, okay, so that that we call as a portmanteau series, okay. So I can say one example, okay, so that I was working in one of the colleges for the past 2 years, okay, so that my students used to call me as, sometimes they call me as a brother and sometimes they call me as a professor, okay, so that they have mixed this word, okay, so that brother plus professor, okay, so that they mixed and they used to say Professor Anna, okay, so that Anna means Anna is a Tamil word, Anna means brother, okay, so that they used to say Professor Anna, okay, so that they have coined a new word, okay, so that portmanteau series, okay, through that thing also just we can enrich our vocabulary, okay, so that through this kind of technique that we can easily improve our vocabulary for an effective communication, okay, so without words we cannot speak, okay, so that building vocabulary is needed, okay, so that vocabulary plays a vital role for writing and for speaking, okay, so that we have to enrich our vocabulary through this technique, okay. So thank you.